Hey, today on Gun Talk Nation, we've got Mark Hanish with Timney Triggers and Jeff Galloway with Rem Arms, the new Remington firearms company. Why are these two together? Well, you're about to find out. I'm Ryan Gresham, and this is Gun Talk Nation. This Gun Talk Nation is brought to you by Silencer Central, Range Ready, MGM Targets, Remington Ammunition, and the new season of Guns and Gear. All right, welcome into Gun Talk Nation. Today on Gun Talk Nation, we kind of have a cool one. This is a special edition because we have a big announcement that I'm going to let you guys handle. But we've got Mark Hanish from Timney Triggers with us. Say hello.
Hello, everybody.
Jeff Galloway from Remington.
Hello.
All right, so Remington, Rem Arms, Remington 700s, 870s, 1100s, yes.
Versamaxes.
Yeah.
We're making them.
They're making them,
yes.
So we're going to talk about that. But I won't bury the lead. Mark, why do we have Timney and Remington sitting here together today?
Because these two iconic American brands have come together, and now not only the 700 Alpha 1s come with a Timney trigger in it, not only the 700P models come with a Timney trigger, but now every 700 that is shipping today has a Timney trigger in it.
That's a big deal.
That is a huge deal that we are both just over the moon excited about.
I mean, people love the Remington 700. Jeff, you know the history. I mean, gosh, how many are there out there? I mean, how many different?
You're talking millions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to put an exact number on it when you started in 1962 and pretty much started from there. And I mean, it's a footprint for new firearms today.
Right. Yeah.
And I can tell you, Timney's been making a trigger for a 700 platform since 1965. So 3 years after, we've made a lot of them. I'm going to just go out on a limb that was probably less than the millions that are out there, but just by a smidge.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that makes sense, right? I mean, we've kind of been talking about it today, and I think, Jeff, you're looking at all the brands out there. You're looking at what can you put on guns, OEM aftermarket products. Correct. To upgrade your guns and make them what people want, what people want in the guns. And I mean, there's a reason why you guys decided to go with Timney.
Correct. I mean, there's some things that we can't do in-house, right? I mean, we've got to go out there and search for people like Timney and, put that stuff together to make the product that we're making today.
Yeah. Mark, talk about, because this is not, you already have, I don't know how many different triggers for Remington 700s, but this is not one of those. This is actually a brand new one you guys kind of developed with Remington.
Yeah, it's something that we worked with Remington on specifically for this. When we started working on the 700 Alpha 1, that took one of our very high-end triggers. And like you said, we have quite a few options for people for replacement triggers, whether they like curved shoes, straight shoes, single stage, double stage. They want them, for bench rest or, PRS competition, super light or hunting triggers. I mean, we have a variety of them. And we really work together to pick kind of a great trigger that gives you that Timney feel and a Timney trigger, but bring that to every single rifle that goes out and kind of optimize that for what hits the broadest swath of customers that gives them a fantastic trigger. So we worked on that, and that one goes into all those guns, and we've released it as the 700 Impact, or the Impact 700. And so in our Impact line, it's really a cost-effective trigger that comes in the rifle. And if you've got your Remington 700 already in the gun cabinet and you'd like to upgrade it to the new OEM standard, you can get that trigger right from us.
Yeah. All right. So, Jeff, you've been at Remington for how long?
11 years now.
And you have to get up on that mic a little bit. Yeah, you have to get up on it because it's about that close.
All right.
How long?
About 11 years now. So 1 year with the new company, Remington Firearms, and excited to be with them. Exactly where I want to be, making new products for a great company that's had a rich history.
I want to talk about the history. So you're a historian. You said I love this stuff. I love the history of it. Do you have a favorite gun from Remington? And I had the pleasure of going to Huntsville, and they had all those racks and racks and racks of guns over the years, Model 66s, all kinds of just wild stuff. Are there some that stand out? I mean, and Mark, I know you're just a gun nerd anyway.
You'll never guess my favorite Remington rifle that I have.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
So it's a Mohawk 600.
What?
In 308.
Dude, I love Remington 600.
Yeah,
it's stupid, but I love it.
It's a 308, and the reason it's so special to me is one of my best friends growing up. It was his father's, and his father's since passed, and I was fortunate enough to get that, from him after he passed, and I love that rifle. I've refinished the stock. I mean, it's a hunting gun. I mean, that one has just been used and used and used, and it was one of his favorite rifles. So like I said, I personally refinished the stock, and I take that thing out in the woods, and I love hunting with that gun.
It's a shorty.
Yep.
It's real short.
Yeah, it's super handy, and I've got a great little scope on it, and you can carry that thing all day, especially when we're out west and I'm hiking up and down mountains. It's a great, super little lightweight rifle.
That's a good one. We've had, at some point, we probably had 10 different Model 600s on the rack in the family gun room, little dog leg bolt. And we even had one that had this really light blonde wood. I mean, it was like unbelievable. But Jeff, you know all of the Remington guns. Are there some that stick out for you that you go, oh, man?
My goodness, I'll be honest with you. I mean, a lot of them stick out to me. I mean, for me as a shotgun shooter, I can start from the Model 1900 side by side all the way up to the V3 that we're making today. So, I mean, they're fantastic firearms.
V3 and Versamax, you mentioned both of those. How do you explain the difference to someone?
Main difference is going to be the 3-inch capability on the V3 versus the 3.5-inch on the Versamax.
Okay.
Also, the positioning of the action spring or action springs. So V3 actually has 2 action springs inside the receiver with no spring in the back of the receiver, which allows you to provide any type of length of pull option.
Oh, gives you more flexibility there.
Yes. You look at one of our offerings is the V3 TAC 13. It's got the bird's head pistol grip on it, so
there's no stock.
Correct. Yeah. And then that just makes everything more weight-centric. You've got everything right there on the receiver as far as weight components go, and then you've got your Versaport gas system right in front of there.
Yeah.
So that just makes the pointability that much easier and enjoyable for the shooter.
Yeah, that's a fun one. And you're a shotgun shooter, shooting clays?
Yes.
So what do you see out there? You're a guy who studies all these things, and you're looking at where Remington's headed and has this history of being in shotguns and rifles. I mean, some pistols as well. But I mean, what do you think is lacking out there for shotgun shooters, for clay shooters that you'd like to see?
I would definitely like to see a competition model. That's something we are working on. We're always looking to improve our products. Right now, we focus mostly on the hunter. Right now, we want to focus on the bread and bones of our product. I mean, that is the hunter. That's you guys out there.
Yeah.
The higher end competition shooters, they tend to lean more towards those higher end, more pricey guns. But still, you've got a lot of youth shooters out there that may change their mind, when they, get involved in, say, trap shooting or skeet or sport plays. They may take that gun that their dad or mom gave them or their granddad and end up changing into a field gun later. So for me, you got to look at it something that's already been there, already established. That's the 870, 1100, things like that.
Yeah, yeah. And there's a reason why those guns have been popular for so long. They just point so well and super reliable too. I mean, talking about 870, that's another one we were talking about, I don't know, possibly in the tens of millions of guns?
100%. More than that.
Yeah. It's crazy. So, all right, triggers in rifles, it used to be no one even talked about triggers in rifles, Mark. I mean, now we're like going, what trigger does it have in it?
It's something that the consumer's more sophisticated. There's better triggers out there, and fortunate that, a lot of those, Timney are Timneys, and Timney blazed the aftermarket, trigger whole category. So, and it's just one of those things, like I said, as people start to use them and become aware of them, then they can really appreciate the advantage that the world's finest trigger gives you.
Yeah.
I mean, everything in the rifle matters, but the last thing that you touch, the last thing that you impart force on, and that entire platform is the trigger. And it's got to be crisp and clean and break the same way every time to give you kind of the utmost accuracy out of that system. So it's just, the trigger makes such a difference.
And like you say, consistency is huge. I mean, that's something we always strive for. We want it to be consistent. Everything from the gun itself to the trigger.
All right. So the flip side of this is bad triggers. So worst triggers that come to mind. I mean, I think of there's been some really bad mil spec AR triggers that I'm like, there's no way that you could be accurate with this. There's no way. And it feels like you're dragging the trigger across a brick or something like that. It's just like, I mean, bad triggers, Mark. You've and there's probably some weird guns that I'm not even thinking of that have some weird stuff going on too.
You know, there are the thing about some of those mil spec triggers and the AR triggers. When you start looking at, you know, over 25 million ARs out there in the marketplace, and most AR customers, you know, have more than one.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is they'll feel a better trigger. You know, they'll try a better trigger and go, my God, I don't need this 10-pound, you know, brick dragging across a gravel road. I can have this nice, you know, crisp 3-pound trigger. And it just opens their eyes to it. So then they replace all their other triggers. So the AR market's been good to Timney and been good for the aftermarket. And ultimately, it's better for the shooter just because you have such a better experience, you know, with the rifle and your whole day, whether it's just at the range with the family or, you know, shooting competition with, you know, lots of zeros on the line.
You know, that's a good point. There are probably people who don't have a lot of experience with ARs, and it's possible you get into and you go, I don't like these. I don't like ARs. Why? I just don't shoot them well. Well, perhaps it's got a really bad trigger.
Yeah.
I mean, it's entirely possible. Very likely.
Yeah,
with a mil spec.
Everything else about that gun is set up to shoot well, you know, to be able to adjust the stock and to be ergonomic and to point and so forth. That whole gun is designed to shoot well.
Yeah.
You really only have a GI trigger in it that can, you know, negatively affect that experience. So changing that is kind of the fastest, easiest, and most cost-effective change to make on a rifle. Yeah,
that's a good fastest and easiest and makes the biggest change. I mean, I totally agree with that. All right, guys, I'm going to take a quick break. After the break, I want to hear the updates from Rem Arms and where you guys are at today. HI-VIZ Sights has a lot of different sights. We've talked about their handgun sights, but they also have them for AK-47s and AR-15s, tactical rifle front sight, using that fiber optic technology. So if you're looking to upgrade, check it out. You can upgrade even your rifle sights with HI-VIZ. Remington Ammunition, they've got a whole series of Golden Saber Defense Compact ammo. And when you're talking about compact firearms for concealed carry, shorter barrels, you need to maximize and optimize your ammunition to perform because it's probably going to go at a little bit slower velocity. So they've got it for 9mm, 38 special, 45 auto, 380 ACP, 10mm, 40 Smith & Wesson. So a lot of different options there. But if you're carrying a compact gun, you might want to match your ammo to it and check out Remington's Golden Saber Defense Compact. Guess what? It's a new season of Guns and Gear. It starts in July and it runs all the way through the end of the year. And the big news is we're starting out on Outdoor Channel for the first 3 months of the season. So if you haven't seen the show before because you didn't have Sportsman Channel, well, you're in luck. Outdoor Channel, go check it out. It's going to be Wednesday nights and then also with re-airs throughout the week. New season of Guns and Gear starts now. Sig Sauer, you think of them as a gun company probably, but they also do optics. Their electro-optics division is doing some pretty cool stuff. The BDX system, where the scope talks to the rangefinder, talks to the app on your phone. They also have other technology that's more on the tactical side of things. red dots and reflex sights. And then they also have even high powered, like the Whiskey 4 5 to 20 exposed zero stop. The Whiskey 4 4 to 16. They've got the Zulu 6 HDX. And all of their optics are supported by a lifetime warranty. It's an unlimited warranty, infinite guarantee. That's what they call it. So check it out at SIGSAUER.com. RangeReadyStudios.com. That's where you go to find out about classes that we're putting on here at the Gun Talk headquarters. Range Ready is the training division, and we have a bunch of new classes that are launching on the schedule right now for the rest of the year. So go over to RangeReadyStudios.com to see the class schedule, and we hope you can make it down and join us. We'll shoot some guns. It'll be fun. Ruger. The Ruger LCP Max, when it came out, kind of expanded that LCP line to be maximum capacity, 10 plus 1 rounds or 12 plus 1 rounds, and it fits the same footprint as the LCP2. It's compact, it's lightweight, under an inch wide, under 11 ounces in weight. It's a pretty good option for a very small carry gun. Well, they have a couple new models. They've got they have one that has an American flag on it. I don't know what you call this, but the American flag Cerakote. They also have a matte stainless slide, and they also have one with a lockbox included. So a couple different variations. I think that this time of year it'd be fun to get the one with the American flag Cerakote on it, even though it'll be concealed, so no one knows. Check it out at Ruger.com. The most popular silencer that Silencer Central has right now, it's the Banish 30 Backcountry. What does backcountry mean? Lightweight, 7.8 ounces. And as they like to say, when you're counting ounces, choose a silencer that's worth the weight. You know, like weight, how much it weighs. So it's lightweight, but it's also rated up to a 300 Remington Ultra Mag, very powerful cartridge. So this is a powerful, durable can, and it is rated for 30 cal and below, sound reduction of 30 dB, and of course, Silencer Central makes it easy to buy one. So go check them out, silencercentral.com. All right, so Remington Firearms, over 200-year history, but has been kind of quiet lately. And I mean, it's no secret that there was a whole family of brands that went through a bankruptcy and got sold off and all this stuff. So give me the updates. I mean, people are probably like, wait, I haven't heard much from Remington lately.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you know, as a startup company, which we are now a licensed product of Remington.
Okay.
It makes it a little bit more difficult for us to actually put out what people are wanting as far as quantity-wise.
Quantity-wise, okay.
You know, for us, we don't want to put anything subpar anymore. You know, that's nothing that we want to ever do in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, when you look at the previous company and what it's gone through and some of the leadership and what we've got now, it's completely changed. You got people that are so passionate about bringing an American iconic brand back. It makes, you know, the most sense to continue to do what we're doing, which is to make the product the best it is and continue to upgrade it any way we see fit to make it the best.
It sounds like what I'm hearing you say is you guys are a smaller company. I mean, I don't know if boutique is the word because it's hard to think big green, you know,
Exactly.
and think boutique, but like you're a much smaller producer of guns, but you're still producing these guns that we love, like the Remington 700.
Yes, sir. And we are looking to get better, looking to expand still. And
I mean,
we
give
are
us like
expanding down
where
the range. And
okay, that's what I was going to ask you.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
where are you guys headed with that?
so, you know, very excited about that. We've got our 783 down there, and in fact, we're doing the 700s as well. And that's
Opening
something
a
that
plant
we
in
are
Georgia.
excited about. And it's already open, started up now.
Okay. Still doing stuff in New York?
Yes, all of our shotgun products are in Illinois, New York. So
Okay.
870s, 1100s, V3s, Versamaxes are still being manufactured out in New York. It makes the most sense to make all of your rifle products in one location versus having two separate locations.
Sure. How long have you guys been at that New York location?
We've been over there, I mean, essentially since the start. I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
You look at the history from, you know, FLI Remington to
Mm-hmm.
where we are today. I mean, that forge has moved around a little bit, but it's been right there on the canal, Erie Canal, ever since it started.
Is it still, do you still have all the history there? There's like a little museum and
Yes, sir.
all that? Man, 200 years as a company. That's crazy, Mark.
It is absolutely a testament to the brand, to the product,
Mm-hmm.
and just how close of a connection that has to this country. I mean,
Yeah.
it really is an iconic brand for America.
It's one of the things that we'll talk about in our industry and in the world of guns. These are products that if you take care of them, they will surpass you in lifetime. They will be handed down. I have a youth model 20 gauge 870 that I did my first duck hunting with, and now I still have it. And now my kids are starting to get where they are big enough to use that gun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why wouldn't we? I mean, it's a youth model 20 gauge, which is 870. This is
Right.
perfect. I mean, it's just,
If you think about it, it's one of the only consumer products that is exceptionally reasonably priced. I mean, you can buy quality firearms, for $600 to $1,200 and expect that, like you said, to not only last your lifetime, but your children's lifetime. You expect that to function and last basically forever.
yeah.
What other consumer product do you pay less than $1,000 for and demand it lasts forever?
Yeah. Yeah. And just, I don't know. It's just, and then you have families, and I know Remington has this, where a family will say, we're a Remington family. It's not like, well, we hunt, whatever, but like we shoot Remington 700s when we're deer hunting. We shoot 870s when we're duck hunting and bird hunting. That's what we do.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy.
And it's a complete package. It's not just the firearms. I mean, even extends out to the ammunition and other products.
Your
that Remington serves.
tattoos, everything.
But it's crazy, like to believe that you're now a licensed product of the Big Green, right? I mean, it's similar to like the Remington shavers or whatnot, but
Right. Okay.
it's not the same. I mean, it's Remington firearms.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
We're still Remington firearms.
Well, I mean, a Remington 700 is like an F-150. All I have to say is F-150. I just said a letter and 3 numbers, and it's Ford. It's a pickup truck. Different models of it. You know what it looks like. You know what it used to look like. Just by saying F-150, you say, oh, I'm using a 700 when I go hunting. That's just a number,
Right.
and that's wild to think like, oh yeah, I know all about that. Know all about that gun. Of the 700s, we were talking about some weird. What was the one you were talking about, Mark?
Oh, the 600.
No, the Remington 700s. All the different models that you guys have, and what was the Sahara or the
The Sendero.
Sendero? This is the one you're still making.
We are still making the Sendero.
Talk about that.
So 700 Sendero stainless fluted comes, of course, with the fluted barrel. You've got the HS precision stock on that. Everything's been improved on all the 700s. So that model now comes with 5R rifling. You've got a receiver that's essentially blueprinted coming out of the factory now. All of our rifles are 100% CNC'd. So that means, you're taking any type of error out, doing that process.
Yeah.
As far as, standard production, mass production of our products. And then, it goes into even bore scoping of all of our rifles now. So you eliminate any type of runouts in the free bore area. So, I mean, the package is complete. I mean, but we're not stopping there. We always are looking to improve. I mean, there's always something to make that product just that much better, just like our Timney triggers that we've added.
Yeah, Jeff, you've said this all day long, is talking about improving the quality, and it seems like you have, and the people who are there currently have a lot of pride in making sure what you're putting out is the best it can be.
100%, because when you say Remington, it's almost synonymous with America. So if you're not passionate about that, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. So Mark, I kind of alluded to it, but talk about all the different varieties of Remington 700 triggers, because is that the as far as models go, is that the highest number variety of triggers, or is it the AR for you guys?
It's got to be the 700. So I mean, the ARs are creeping up there and fairly close, but the 700 is so iconic, and it's been around such a long time, and there's just as many different types of shooters as there are that models that have that rifle. So like I said, there's lightweight ones, there's bench rest ones, there's field ones, there's we've got them with, you can get 4 different trigger shoe shapes in there, and So yeah, it's
Calvin Elite.
Oh yeah,
the hit.
yeah. You can get them with. You can get the hit for your PRS style. If you're really doing some competition, it goes from 8 ounces to 2 pounds, and then we've got the Elite Hunter.
That's
so
awesome.
it's for a hunting rifle, so you can adjust that down from 2 pounds to 4 pounds.
Okay.
And like with the Calvin Elite, you've got adjustable trigger shoes, so you can
Yeah.
set that up so it's right in the sweet spot or wherever you want. And there's bench rest ones that go down into the ounces. I mean, it's just, and then those are all single stage.
Right.
And then we have 2-stage triggers for those. So, I mean, you really can have it however you want.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that 700 platform, there's so many things made around it. Like you said, being iconic, the F-150 or the 700, it's the standard that everyone kind of built around.
Mm-hmm.
So you have, as an owner of that firearm, you have all the options in the world to do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, the partnership you guys have going. And even though that it's coming with a Timney, it's still interchangeable. It's still like you could upgrade to a different one, talking about if you wanted to say, I'm going to get into some more long range shooting or for some other purpose, right?
Yeah, the Impact 700, which comes as the OEM, the standard trigger on that, all the new 700s. It is a great trigger. And, it's right in that 3 to 4 pound sweet spot, and it's Timney feel, great, super upgraded rifle. And then if someone does want, I really like, a 2.5 pound trigger, or I really like this, or I'm going to take my 700 and I want to shoot, just at the range, and I got it in, a wicked accurate caliber. Like I got it in like 6.5, and I got it set up. You know what? I'm going to put a hit trigger in there because this isn't my hunting rifle. This is my, competition rifle.
I want to see
bench gun.
how bench gun. How small can I make these groups?
Yeah, I want an 8-ounce trigger on this rifle. So all that footprint is the same. Everything's the same. Those, customers can still choose one of the other 30, 40, 50 other, 700 platform triggers from Timney and put it in there.
Very cool. All right. If they wanted to put in a 2-stage trigger, they can do that.
Absolutely.
2-stage versus single stage. Do you have strong opinions about this?
I do not have strong opinion about that. I mean, some people will go to blows over that of which is better or worse. I've pulled a trigger or 2 million in my lifetime, and I've shot plenty of single stage. I've shot plenty of 2-stage. It's just, I don't know, maybe I'm not sophisticated enough to tell, but it really is personal preference. You know, some people just really love that single stage to where the trigger's there, and when I pull it, I want the shot to go off.
Right.
And other people really enjoy the fact that, I just get to move it a little bit and feel the wall and then have a clean break through that.
I'd say for for accuracy, maybe for long range stuff, I kind of like a 2-stage, but AR going fast, just slapping the trigger.
Yeah.
A single stage, probably better for me.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, shot plenty of time, with ARs going fast, and a nice, crisp, light single stage on there is wonderful.
Yeah.
I've also had rifles. I was shooting my scarring competition quite a bit, and I had a, Timney in there, so that was a single stage, and we could hammer with that. But then I've had other competition rifles that had 2 stages in there.
Yeah.
And, I got the benefits of the long range 2-stage, but I could also, pull through it pretty quick to get some doubles.
Kind of one of those things you just have to get used to it.
Yeah.
Right? Do you have a preference or on triggers, Jeff? Where do you like your trigger? Pull weight wise, single stage, 2-stage?
Well, from a shotgun standpoint, when you're used to just simply slapping that trigger all the time, your preferences are a little bit more open, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So like he says, I've shot both 2-stage, I've shot the single stage, and for me, I mean, they've got benefits for both. So what you made does make a little bit of sense. So I mean, if you are used to that slapping, that single stage may be a better option for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you like more of that feel, kind of holding it back, hitting that wall, 2-stage is hard to beat.
Have you ever shot a set trigger on a shotgun?
Oh yeah.
Yeah? I've never done that.
I haven't shot one on a
Sounds
shotgun.
weird.
I've shot it on rifles.
On rifles?
Yeah, on
Really?
rifles. Some set triggers.
You pull it
push 'em
back
up there. Yeah.
and then you release it and it goes off?
Oh, no, not a release trigger.
Oh, release trigger.
That's
Yeah.
release. Yeah.
Oh, release trigger. Yeah.
No, I've never shot one of
Yeah,
those.
I've shot the release triggers. Those are a little bit different, especially if you're not expecting it. I was actually at a trap tournament one time when I was really young, grabbed my BT-99. Well, I thought it was my BT-99. Went up there, started shooting, and I'm going,
Oh, wow.
flinching really bad. And then, of course, wonder why it's not going off, and then boom, goes off in my hand when I just released the trigger.
No kidding.
So, yeah, very, very different. So, and of course, they recommend getting that release trigger if you've got flinching,
Right.
problems.
It
but
fixes that.
again,
Now Jeff's his BT-99 is pink. he doesn't want to mix it up with anybody else's.
That's right.
Well, very cool.
Now for
So
my daughter.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just pass it along, right? She can Cerakote it whatever she wants.
Exactly.
So this is out now. I mean, Remington 700 is shipping with Timney Triggers. And if you already have a Remington 700 from back in the day, you can get, well, I guess any number of.
You can get, yeah, you have the full suite of options from Timney to replace your trigger. But what we do have is the Impact 700, which is the exact same trigger that comes in every 700 now. You can get that exact same one right from Timney. And again, you can put it in yourself. It's something that come to your house, and it's real easy to install.
Yeah, that's another important point. Well, guys, thanks a lot for being here. This is good.
Really
Thank
appreciate
you for
it.
having us
I think
again.
people are going to be excited about it. All right, that's the scoop. We'll see you guys next time on Gun Talk Nation.